Everyone thinks investing is about doing something, buying, selling, optimizing, reacting. We're taught that progress comes from action, from movement, from decisions, from constant involvement. So, when it comes to investing, doing nothing feels wrong, almost irresponsible. Because in everyday life, doing nothing usually is wrong. If your car makes a strange noise, you don't wait 6 months. If your phone freezes, you don't hope it fixes itself eventually. If your job feels unstable, you don't just sit back and do nothing. You act, you intervene, you fix problems. And that's exactly why investing feels so uncomfortable. Because investing rewards behavior that contradicts everything else we're used to. In investing, action often hurts, and patience often wins. Think about waiting in real life. Waiting is uncomfortable. Waiting at the airport, waiting in traffic, waiting for an important message. Your brain hates waiting. It constantly asks, should I do something? Should I check again? Should I interfere? That same discomfort appears in investing, just slower and quieter. Investing is boring by design. It's not supposed to entertain you. It's not supposed to give you daily excitement. It's more like watching grass grow or paint dry. Nothing happens. Days go by, weeks pass, and your brain starts doubting everything. Imagine you just painted a wall. You know it needs time to dry, but every few minutes, you touch it with your finger, just to check. Is it dry yet? What about now? And now? Each time you touch it, you ruin the surface. Not because the paint is bad, but because you couldn't leave it alone. That's investing. Most people don't fail at investing because they picked the wrong assets. They fail because they can't stop touching the wall. They constantly adjust. They constantly react. They constantly interfere. And they call it being active. Let's use another example. Imagine you plant a tree. You don't dig it up every week to check whether the roots are growing. You water it. You protect it. And then you leave it alone. If you keep pulling it out of the ground, it never grows. Markets work the same way. Your plan only works if you give it time, and time requires not interfering. Here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Doing nothing feels like losing control. You see headlines, you see red numbers, you see other people doing things, and your instinct says, I should react. But reacting isn't the same as improving. Often, it's the opposite. Think about sports, not as a player, but as a coach. You have a strategy. You train the team. But during the match, things don't go perfectly. A mistake happens. Do you run onto the field and grab the ball yourself? Of course not. The best coaches don't interrupt every play. They trust preparation. They understand that short-term chaos is part of long-term success. Investing is coaching, not playing. Your job isn't to touch the ball constantly. Your job is to create a system that works over time, and then let it run. Doing nothing isn't passive. It's disciplined. It's the result of decisions you already made earlier. You already decided what to invest in, how much to invest, and how often. Now your job is simply not to sabotage yourself. And here's something people rarely talk about. Doing nothing doesn't just compound money, it compounds behavior. Every time you don't panic, you strengthen the habit. Every time you don't react, you build emotional resilience. Over years, that matters just as much as returns. The calm investor doesn't just end up with more money, they end up with more clarity, less stress, less self-doubt, because they stopped fighting the process. This is why investing feels pointless at first, because the most important part looks like nothing is happening. But in reality, everything important is happening underneath. Quietly, slowly, unimpressively. Doing nothing won't give you stories. You won't tell friends about it. You won't screenshot it. You won't feel clever in the moment. But years later, you'll be grateful you stayed boring. Because in investing, boring is often the most effective strategy there is. If this helped you think more clearly about investing, that's all this channel is trying to do. No hype, no shortcuts, just ideas that hold up over time. If you found this useful, feel free to leave a like. And if you want more of this kind of thinking, you can subscribe. Let's see what compounds faster, the portfolio or the channel. See you in the next one.